Hi, I'm Jessica Ramberg. For this edition of Inside the NCAA, we will review the Division I governance meetings and hear directly from key committee representatives. Michael Sagaz, the Faculty Athletics representative at the University of Florida, explains how the Student Athlete Experience Committee is planning to propose changes this year, as well as plans to make time demands for college athletes a continued focus over the next several years.
Time demands is one that's most central, probably the number one priority that we've been spending. I think I counted well over 20 hours of committee time alone already on this topic, probably more than any other committee, any other governance body has to date. So we want to get this right. We know it's early in the process. We got a few wins, I think, coming out of our work.
Next, we talked to Bob Bowlesby, Chair of the Football Oversight Committee and Commissioner of the Big 12 Conference, on the topic of recruiting.
There are a number of elements of the recruiting process that really are not what we would like. Some of it, there's been a lot of talk about an early signing period, and there's been talk about when the right time to engage with recruits is. Some would say the end of the junior year, some would say after the football season during the junior year. Some would say that the entire process should be over before the start of the senior season. So there's a fair amount of a disagreement in the system as to what the right situation is, but we're going to do a deep dive on it and try and put in place a set of rules that are reflective of the needs of today's student athletes and the needs of our institutions as well.
Dan Guerrero, Chair of the Men's Basketball Oversight Committee and Athletics Director at UCLA, provided insight on the creation of a competition committee for Division I basketball.
Competition committee that is being formulated will work hand in hand with the Oversight Committee, be a committee comprised of 10 individuals that are clearly experts in the game of Division I basketball.
And Jean Lenti-Ponsetto, Chair of the Women's Basketball Oversight Committee and Athletics Director at DePaul, discussed the committee's decision to allow referees to wear microphones during the Women's Basketball Championship.
I like the idea of live microphones. I think it brings the fan experience, right onto the court. I think they're really engaged in the action and the activity, and I think they get to feel the emotion of the moment and all the excitement of the game from what the coach is experiencing, what the student athletes are hearing on the other end from the coaches. So I think it just adds another layer of excitement and engagement for our fans.
Finally, we talked with Jim Phillips, Chair of the Division I Council and Athletics Director at Northwestern, on the top issue being addressed by the council.
Enhancing the student athlete experience, we continue to look at that. It's really paramount to the future of the NCAA and to the future of student athletes. It's been a collaborative effort with the council's work, along with Autonomy 5, as well as our SAC group, which has been a wonderful voice for us to hear from as we've tried to move some of the things forward, like time demands and the experience overall of our student athletes. Excited to listen to the student athletes after they meet in July with their SAC group and feed us additional information. We want to continue to remove barriers that the student athletes feel, whether it's internships or whether it's study abroad, some of the things they would like to do as well, rounding out their total experience. I want to remind folks that this remains really the first step of many that we feel like we're going to take and are going to take to improve the student athlete experience. But I'm really energized by what I saw these last 3 days and really excited about the future for our student athletes and collegiate athletics overall in the NCAA.
For more information on these stories and how the NCAA is supporting student athlete success, visit ncaa.org.